how do Reavers deal with their human skins getting dirty? They
wash them, yeah.
You're fucked up. God damn it.
Oh.
Especially because it took me a minute to process it. I'm fucking hungover, man.
That's okay. That's okay.
I was like, that's not it's not funny at all.
That's the point. It's the opposite of what's funny. Hey, everyone out in the TBD universe, out in the black. We're following up last week's, 2 weeks ago, fucking bi-month. I don't give a shit. We're following up our last episode, which was about the wonderful cult hit television series Firefly, canceled before its time, created and written by Joss Whedon, with the Capper movie that he made, Serenity. And with us, we have our fellow friend from NATO Comedy, Mike, the Spike, Mercado.
Wait, when you said Joss Whedon, I thought we were going to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Bitch, you watched it last night. Don't you lie to me.
I know I did. For like the 1,000th time. Love it.
Oh, nice. Last night was my first time.
Yeah.
So,
what did you think?
Overall, I really liked it. There were a couple of problems that I had with it because I'm a nitpicky son of a bitch. Not the least of which being that in order to condense the plot line, they had to have Simon suddenly know all of these things about what had happened to River's brain that he entirely did not know at the point in the timeline where they say that he found them out. So, that was like my one thing where I was like, he already knew exactly what they did to their brain because he literally got the full rundown from the scientist who did it to her brain. Why did they need to break into that medical facility to get a brain scan? It completely negates the necessity of that episode. Which bugged the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I thought it was very, very solid. There were some weird character inconsistencies, which I thought were based on the fact that it was like a couple of years down the line on the timeline. But then they made it very clear that it was 8 months later. Like, you had that girl on my boat for 8 months, and you never told us? And...
Well, yeah, it's not necessarily 8 months later than, like, where the end of Firefly is
No,
either.
it's 8 months from when she got on the boat. Which, again, it didn't... Like, they didn't explain what the deal was with Haven and why Shepherd Book had stayed there, or what the whole deal was there. The Inara thing I liked because it was a direct tail off of the end of the show where she's like, no, I'm leaving.
Right.
And she did actually leave, which totally made sense. I thought that was great. But there were some weird inconsistencies with Wash's delivery, especially early in the film, where he delivered his lines very differently than the way he delivered them in the show.
Do you think there should have been more dinosaur play?
I actually totally could have gone with that. I also really think that there should have been a few more Mal one-liners in the middle of really terrible things happening. For example, when he's fighting the operative right at the end, right at the fucking reactor core, and he starts going on, and like they're about to have their like showdown, and he draws the sword. Like, I really, really, really wanted Mal to be like, oh god, why is it always swords? Like the part where they square up with the sword versus him with the screwdriver. Like, that would have been so good if he was like, fuck, why is it always swords? Why do they always have a sword? Like...
Perfect to that one episode, Shindig?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because that's, again, that would have like been a perfect tie back to the show for the fans, as well as being, that's the way Mal deals with these situations, is he makes the stupid joke. He's like, fuck! But otherwise, I thought it was very, very, very solid. I thought that they did a great job of actually capping off a lot of the questions of the series.
Right.
Even the ones that they didn't cap off, like Book's background. Where it's like, you're going to have to tell me about that one day. No, I don't.
Not really.
And there's like the long pause and he goes, yeah, that's actually accurate. And because the implication is that Book is a retired Alliance operative.
Right.
Which I really, really liked, as that they didn't have to actually explicitly say it, but they made you understand what his background is. But yeah, otherwise, I loved it. I thought it was great, other than those like couple of weird things where I was like, you fucked with the timeline there, but I get why. There's a little bit of inconsistency here. Jewel State, as much as I love her, did not handle a couple of the mega emotional moments correctly, which was unfortunate for me, and I don't know what exactly went into that. There was, like, the one in particular was when Book died. She did not emote the way that Kaylee would have emoted.
Yeah, I see a total breakdown.
Death. Yeah, she should have completely lost her shit and melted down to the ground. Mm-hmm. And then that would have made sense that later on she's more numb when the other deaths happen. Like when Wash goes down, even when Simon gets shot at the end, that would have made that make more sense, even though Simon doesn't die. Which
my bag.
I left my bag there. It's like, damn it, get a strap. Around you.
Something.
You're the fucking doctor.
Well, there were so many things in that final fight scene that I thought were wonderful and were so well done and realistically put together. Including the fact that when Zoe lost her shit and advanced past the line, it totally fucked their defensive posture. So that's when they start losing ground, and they perfectly showed that. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I thought overall Whedon did a great job of it, and I was not expecting there to be potential for something going forward. But they totally left it open at the end for the potential of actually continuing the series at some point.
There was a bunch of things about that kind of stuff. Because we were talking in the last podcast about it being more closed off and certain things with, people's backgrounds. And, the whole stuff with, the origin of the Reavers. Yeah. And you were talking about all this stuff, and I was like, I can't say anything.
No, again, and I figured all of that was going to get at least tangentially dealt with, and it wasn't tangential.
No. Well, I mean, it was tangential for, 90% of the population?
I mean, yes, but I don't give a fuck about those people, because, which I did, actually, I loved... Yes. I loved that they named the planet Miranda. At first, I thought what they were going to do was that whatever had used up the Earth was what had created the Reavers. The Reavers were the people left over who were, trapped on Earth, and that Miranda was going to turn out to be the Earth that was, but that wasn't actually a problem. It had just been basically taken over by the Reavers, and the propaganda was all the other thing. Oh, but then, of course, it turned out to be the whole other deal.
Like Van Dread status?
Yeah. Basically. And having it be named Miranda, I can't remember what the actual Greek mythology reference is, but I'm pretty sure that they were referencing Shakespeare's The Tempest, where Prospero's daughter, Miranda, is the one who delivers the monologue. She's the innocent person who is being exposed to the rest of the world for the first time. She's the one who has the monologue, "O strange new world that hath such people in it."
Oh, Brave New World?
You're right, "O brave new world." Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think that's the line.
I can't "O brave new world that hath such people in it." I can't believe I just did that. It's my favorite fucking Shakespeare play.
It's all good, bub.
I have no brain anymore. I hallucinated a truck following me for hours last night. Not last night, it was 3 nights ago. Regardless.
Fuck.
But, I'm slowly becoming River. It's awesome. Soon I'm going to be able to mass murder people with my feet.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, you're becoming River in some ways, but I mean, until you gain that, mental telepathy aspect, I can't really give you that notch.
No, I feel. Or being able to kill, 40 people with just my feet. The beautiful, I can't remember the dance term for when you do the, elevation. You go up on point and you do the elevation with the back foot. She kills a man with that in the bar fight. And I was like, that's flawless. And they really did that they did the choreography so well in the film.
Do you know that girl? I really don't.
I really don't. I'm getting out of here with our big-ass bag of money. And oh, sweet God. Which... I was really happy we finally got to see River activate.
Oh, yeah.
True, extensive River activation. And I also loved the exploration of the Reaver culture. Such as it was. Because there wasn't a ton, but there definitely was some exploration of it. Even in the when they're cruising through and they don't show any of it, but all the stuff that's coming over the wave,
right? That's
obviously their whole interchange between the ships is trading the torture porn.
Oh God!
And I thought that was really cool, watching the guys whose basically their job it is to check ships and be like, are they one of us? Mm-hmm. The two little guys that came in, that's the one that they fire on.
Right.
And then the other one, which I loved, other one of those two ships, is the ship that chases them all the way through the fight. It's the one that doesn't let go. It's the one that follows them down onto the planet and kills Wash and then sends the waves of guys at them.
Right.
Which I also thought was really cool, that the Reaver culture is not just this hyper-aggressive kill everything. It has its own cohesion. It has its own rules. Obviously, those guys were like, you fucking killed our friends. We coming for that ass. We coming for that ass real hard and sick nasty. Which is kind of how the Reavers come at every ass.
Yeah.
Which...
And Zoe was like, you killed my husband, I'm coming for you too, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, which are great. I will slowly advance firing my Winchester. Like, I loved, by the way, Jane's little rant about, like, I mean, eating people alive. When does that get fun?
When does that get
like, what the hell, dude? Like, who does that?
Jane has probably partook of every conceivable, like, fucked up thing you can, you know, in the verse. But, like, he draws the line at eating people.
Yeah.
It was eating people. Not eating them alive. Not raping them.
Alive.
No, eating them alive.
Well, that's what I love. He's like, killing and raping and all that. I mean, like, I never murder somebody. I mean, I kill them if they're a threat. Or if they might be a threat. Or if there's money. Or if they piss me off. Or if they talk shit about my mom. Or he goes down the giant list of reasons for which he kills people, doesn't mention rape, and then skips right on to the eating people. And I was like, oh, Jane.
Well, I mean, Jane is also the man who tried to trade a gun for a girl.
No, like, I know.
This is my very favorite gun, Vera.
Like, she has a name, Jane. So does my gun. It's named Vera. That's fucking stupid, Jane. But, like... No, again, which is part of what was interesting about that, and the evolution of Jane over the course of the series.
Mm-hmm. Something I thought that was interesting specifically with Jane is he's like, fuck Simon and River throughout like the first part of the movie, and then shit happens, and they're all sitting around the table discussing what to do. He's drinking. The first person he passes it to is fucking Simon. Like, drink with me.
Oh yeah,
like,
well, we are there on the planet. Yeah,
we are at the point of like we are Miranda. In this shit. Yeah, like for better or for worse, like you are, you know, you may be a part of Mal's crew, but like because of the shit that just went down, we are bonded. Fucking drink with me. We're about to go into fucking war.
Well, and that's the point where he actually does fully accept them onto the crew, even at the end of Firefly, when he's going through his old guilt trip and he's being super nice to them and he's trying to like make everything better, they still aren't part of the crew to him.
Right.
And
they're not for the first part of that movie either. I mean, he's talking about like, weren't they getting off the ship? What the fuck are they doing?
Well, because there is that final break of him being like, we can't fucking trust that she's not gonna go nuts and kill all of us, and I've been saying this since she attacked me with a kitchen knife.
Even if he looked better in red.
Yes, which he very well might, but I don't think so. I think he looks good in brown. But that was an interesting dynamic. And that was also, I think that there were some rough character arc things in between the end of the series and Serenity, because they were trying to make the movie accessible to people who hadn't seen the whole show. So they couldn't have that whole, like... Jane is really nice to them at the beginning, and then as soon as there's a problem, Jane is like, oh yeah, fuck this. Mm-hmm. You know, or Mal, they didn't make Mal's whole thing where the only thing he does believe in is the crew. And they make such a big point of his belief in the film. And it makes sense that his belief has been shaken. You know, he's lost the relationship with Inara. Everything's been going bad for the crew. The, like, ship is literally falling apart. All the rest of it. That makes sense that he's now starting to even question that belief. But they didn't ever articulate as clearly and as well as they did in the show his philosophy dealing with it. Is like, no, you're part of us. I have your back. I expect you to have mine. There is no question that I have your back. There should be no question that you have my back. We all have our role to play. And that opening disagreement with Simon over the whole job and everything else, I thought was great, but that they didn't make that clear that that's what Mal's problem was like, you should know by now that I have your back, that I care, that I would rather take a bullet than let any of my crew members go down. And instead had him go on the rant where it's like, you're not even really a part of this crew. Which I was a little bit like, you are. You've already said, there's literally the episode where he's like, why did you come back for us? You're on my crew. But you could have left us to die. You're on my crew. Why are we still talking? Yeah. So that was something that bothered me a little bit.
That's weird, especially when Book dies. He's like, why do you care, boy? I'm not part of your crew.
It's like, you are.
You are. But it's a very emotional moment, of course. But yeah, it's like... well,
and I think that's what he was trying... What
does he just not like Simon?
Well, he doesn't like Simon.
I mean...
But I think that moment is supposed to be the turnaround for Mal, of him going back to his philosophy of, no, you are part of my crew. I do give a damn. I do care. And that's why that next statement is him being like, if you don't want to stay behind, then you better be fucking willing to follow me. Like, this is the choice. You're on the crew, or you're off the crew. And I need to know right now because this is going all the way. They're killing everybody. Like, I don't murder children. I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
I fucking love the operative. God. He is hands down my favorite character in the universe.
Oh, man. He's up there with fucking Jubal. Like, he's definitely up there with Jubal early.
Jubal?
Like, just so many fucking, like...
Yeah. What's his name?
The assassin from
the assassin
Objects in
Objects in
Space.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Is Jubal Early. He introduces himself as Early, but when River gets up on his shit, she's like, yes, Jubal Early, and starts fucking with him. Yeah. It's not just the character from fucking Stranger in a Strange Land.
No, I love how River can know shit without, no. She shouldn't know these things, but she does.
Yeah. And again, it's
she's a witch!
She's yeah. You knew the old patriarch. Oh, she's a witch killer. Wait, shit.
But yeah, there's so many like expertly crafted, expertly delivered lines that the operative had. They're just fucking magical.
Yes.
I mean, like the going back to what you were saying earlier, the simple like I don't kill children, I do. Like that being blunt and to the point, just excellent. Like I love the fucking spiel at the beginning about like there's no shame in this death.
Yeah.
This is a good death.
This is a man's death. This is a good death. You've done remarkable things. Let go.
Yeah. Excellent.
And that the clarity of his character and truly understanding that is what has kept. That's why the Alliance is what it is because it's built on the back of that fanaticism.
Right.
And that looks so far into the idea of, okay, that's the whole deal with the Shepherds and this whole overarching civilization. The reason that it runs is because there are people like him who truly at their core believe that it is the only way.
Right.
And believe it with such purity. And the fact that he's... for all of his delusion in that this is the only way, this is what has to happen, which delusion on whether or not that's actually true, that's the best long-term plan for humanity, what the fuck ever. He is the only one who actually is truly looking at it all clearly in terms of a moral and a strategic and everything else point. Is he's like, I'm a monster.
Right.
They use me to take out other monsters and other threats.
There is no place for
purpose.
In this new world.
Yeah, that is my purpose. And I believe that it's necessary. I believe that it's important. And that's why I'm able to look at all of this clearly. Like the whole discussion at the training house.
You can't make him angry.
Yeah, you
trust me, I've tried.
Now, you cannot handle this man. That just instantly, like, Mal, you schmuck. You can't actually handle this guy. And, I mean, the one reason that he handled him was because he monologued. And that was a through line of the film that I adored. Every single time someone monologues, it bites them directly in the taint. Like, Mal tries to monologue, and he's just like, well, I'm a big fan of all the seven sins, but, right now
I'll go with
wrath right now, and goes for it, and of course misses, because he gave the motherfucker time. He didn't just shank him. He should have shanked him and gone, right now, probably wrath. Like, come on now, be effective. Shoot first. Always shoot first, Han. Which was also a great moment of him being like, all right, I do not care that this man is technically not armed right now.
Right.
This man is a weapon. This man is dangerous.
Right.
I probably can't beat this man in a fight. I'm going to repeatedly try to shoot him. Okie doke. Which, beautiful.
I am unharmed. Good.
Boom, boom, boom. I'm wearing full body armor. I'm not a moron. And just starts miserably beating his ass. Like, that sequence was fucking great.
Oh.
And, yeah, again, that through line of his and Mao's almost friendship throughout the film, because they are looking at each other from that first conversation. They are relating to each other in a way that Mao does not relate to any other character. And that I thought was beautiful.
Well, yeah, it's the whole, like, worthy adversary dynamic.
Yes. As well as truly acknowledging the other as their antithesis. Mm-hmm. Like, we are opposites, but we are also both people who are truly committed to what we are and what we believe. And Mal has always believed in the freedom of the individual. That's
right.
what drives him. And the ability to make your own choice. And that's, God, love that. I've had goosebumps for the whole, like, last 5 minutes of this discussion. Because of how fucking well that was done. And also, I was really happy that they didn't fall into the horrible potential pitfall of all of the Reavers are basically, like, exaggerated, like, late 19th century depictions of African tribesmen, which I was really worried about. Because I saw a couple of images, like, right at the beginning. Yeah. Or, well, Peter Jackson just used, like, Maori stuntmen because they lived there and there was a huge, like, supply of
it's
Maori
inexcusable.
stuntmen. I mean, I'm more angry at, there's, like, tons of other movies where it's like, okay, Resident Evil 5 was a great example. Was, here, come kill all of the black people, and there's a few main characters, and they're all white, even though you're in the Congo. Like, you know, that kind of thing.
Sorry, I can't speak on that because I'm pretty sure that Etienne and I haven't seen that one, and neither of any of our viewers.
Oh, Resident Evil 5, the game?
Your listeners.
Oh, yeah, no, that's quite possible. It was one of the big criticisms of Resident Evil 5 is it's like, oh, the zombie outbreak moves to Africa. So huge parts of the game are you just mowing down, like, hundreds of black people.
See what it feels like to be a Belgian prince.
Essentially. Yeah, but Belgian Prince, the simulator. Also known as Resident Evil 5 because we needed a main title. Resident Evil 5, Belgian Princes. No! Oh my god! Resident Evil 5, King Leopold's Ghost. It would have been perfect.
Fuck.
Just never mind. That's going way dark.
It's funny. It could totally be one of those things where the game gets made and, like, all right, well, I guess we can't sell this as what it is. All right, we're gonna change all of these men to zombies.
And it's like Troll 2. We'll throw a name on it and everything will be good. Oh god. But yeah, no, they didn't fall into that trap, and they made each of the. You didn't ever get a close look at the Reavers, which I liked. Mm-hmm. You saw them, but the point was legit, like, get it gone. Kill it and get rid of it.
Right. Yeah.
Kill it and get rid of it. We don't want this. We don't need this.
Right. The most you saw was really the landing party at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And then after that, they were all just like a mass.
Yeah. Except for the doorway. When they bottleneck at the doorway, right at the end, you get the individual faces. And that was so good. Because it's actually that point of like, oh God. Oh God. Oh God, this one. Oh God, that one. And otherwise, yeah, it's the, like, monolithic mass of, like, screaming. I did find it funny that the whole beginning of the film was essentially the first episode of Firefly, just done in, like, 25, 30 minutes.
Kind of.
It's, like... It's literally like 100%. Oh wait, we got this job. Oh, we're gonna succeed at the job. Oh, there's a complication succeeding at the job. Oh wait, there's Reavers. Oh wait, we're running from the Reavers. Let's explain all that. I get why they did it.
The Reavers were the focal point of the movie, and there were so many people who saw the movie first without ever having seen the series. I was certainly in that camp.
Oh yeah,
Like I went back and I watched the series afterwards, and
so was Alex.
It's a little disappointing to be like, okay, I'm gonna get invested in these people that I know are dead now. Like Wash, like you love Wash throughout the show, and you're just like, well, he's dead.
Wash and Book are my two favorite characters, which was.
Yeah.
Well, again...
I think they did it on purpose. He's like, it's never coming back. Fuck it.
Well, yeah. There's been that argument that's been made about, like, these were everybody's favorite characters. Like, they may be even fucking Joss Whedon's favorite characters. I don't fucking know. Well, but, like, just being, like, symbolically, like, this chapter is over. Whatever the fuck's coming next, this chapter is over.
That chapter, yeah. Which he managed to do really well. I actually read some of the comics in between.
Oh, nice.
Last time and this time. And they were really, really fucking solid. And they did a good job of it.
Damn, I want to read those now.
They're solid. There's this great thing that's River babysitting Wash and Zoe's baby. And telling the baby a story about her parents, like, turned into a fairy tale.
Wow.
That was really fucking well done and was really powerful. And that I, like, seriously dug on. I was like, that's some good-ass writing right there. But I think also killing Wash and Book was, it's over, so we're, like, making it go critical. Mm-hmm. But Joss Whedon has made a practice of killing fan-favorite characters in climactic moments early on in things to try and grip the audience by the short and curlies. So, while he waited longer, obviously, in Serenity to do it, he's still... there's still the entire end game of the film where Wash is dead and Book is dead. You look at Angel, where he kills Doyle, who's one of the three main characters, 2/3 of the way through season 1, and all of Doyle's powers magically transfer to horrible, awful, screamy woman. Whatever the fuck her name is.
I have no knowledge of Angel.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Angel, the whole, opening layout is Angel moves to LA to be a private investigator. He hooks up with this homie of his who's a half-demon, Doyle. They also bring along the least popular character from the original Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, who's this horrible, Queen Bee, socialite, Valley Girl high schooler chick. Yeah. And so she's a part of of Angel, from the beginning, and you hate her. And then Doyle, who's the demon guy, who's a great character, sacrifices himself 2/3 of the way through season 1 to, save a bunch of innocents, and is like, I love you guys, and dies. And then all of his powers go to awful Queen Bee chick, who is, the other main character for the rest of the show.
That's very disappointing. It's been a while since I watched Angel. Elementary school.
Oh, word. But that's something that Joss Whedon has used often in his writing as a way to grab the audience by the short and curlies is, here's a character you really love and you really care about and you want to succeed. We're going to kill them in a really realistic way early on. So it builds the tension later on, so you worry about, is this guy I really like going to die? I actually don't know, because fuck, they killed Doyle. Fuck, they killed Wash. Anybody can die now, Which actually, non sequitur, but tangentially related. I was reading a whole thing about J.K. Rowling's decisions about which characters were going to die in the Harry Potter books. And she'd originally intended Harry, Ron, and Hermione to all live through all of it. But round about book 3, she went through a serious bout of depression and was like, I'm killing Ron. And just decided Ron was going to die. And then 2 books later was like, no, I'm not. That's dumb. I'm not gonna kill Ron. And was also specifically chose not to kill Hagrid because the first image that she came up with in the series was Hagrid coming out of the Forbidden Forest carrying Harry's body at the end.
Wow.
After the showdown. No, and she was like, I always knew it had to come back to that. I was like,
it's terrible too. It's like, you fuckers make Hagrid carry him?
Yeah,
Jesus.
Well, it's not...
Of course, in a way, I don't think he would have wanted it any other way.
Yeah. No, Hagrid wouldn't have.
Don't touch him, you fucks!
I carried his baby body from the dead parents explosion. I'll carry his dead body now.
I wiped his mom off his face.
Yes, actually, probably. Which was fun. Was the let's get you cleaned up, River. All these innocent people's blood you just murdered. Oh yeah, you see that couple who were just having nice drinks that you kicked down the stairs? Did you see them? I did. I noticed that couple who were just trying to flee and got kicked down the stairs.
Well,
also,
she didn't have a choice. The algorithm talked to her.
No, again, which totally fine. There was just a lot of civilian collateral damage in that film.
Yeah.
And that was actually my big...
I mean, it's sad, but like when you think about like the fact that that whole planet...
Oh, God, yeah, 30 million.
30 million people.
30 million.
And like... The ones that just sat down and died, and of course the other part that became Reavers.
The 1/10. That was the 3 million base population of Reavers.
Yeah, most of the people just sat down and died. And then, just a little bit.
Which is the wacky thing, actually, is that the reason the Reavers are still all like that, the drugs are still in their system, which means that they realized what it was that had killed everyone else. Realized what it was that was giving them their aggression and this new power, and chose to embrace it, and continued to use the drug, even after they'd left the planet. Which I thought was a really cool, again, they didn't explicitly go into it, but another part of the Reaver culture is that planet is empty. It is a shrine to the people who died because of the Alliance government. And the Reavers now exist in a state of constant revenge mode against the entire rest of the universe. Because they were essentially left to die. And it wiped out everyone that they cared about. So the remaining Reavers have embraced the rage and have turned into this like horrific monster of doom. But that's the philosophy behind it. That's the core of it. And again, I'm getting goosebumps again. Like, that was such an interesting exploring that. Like, it isn't just a monolithic force of insanity and evil. There's a culture, there's thought. They're humans, you know? They're filled with rage, but they are still human. They aren't zombies.
Yeah, it's not something throwaway like zombie. You know, you actually have to feel in a way for these people.
Yeah.
More people.
There's a lot of innocent people dying up in the sky right now. You have no idea how true that statement is.
Yep.
Bam.
Like, and that, again, feeding back into the whole, what is the Alliance, why is the Alliance, the philosophy behind the Alliance as well, versus that philosophy behind the Reavers.
They meddle. What? They're meddlesome.
They're up in everybody's heads.
Everyone's asses.
Yeah.
People don't like that shit.
It depends. Some people pay a lot of money for that shit. Both being up in your head and being up in your ass. I mean, shrinks, you know, professional dominatrixes, dominars. What's the male version of a dominatrix?
I don't know, I've only been a sub. Wait, what?
Yep, I spent a lot of years as a Subway sandwich. Yep. Dominatrixes never knew what to make of me.
Jesus.
There was one other thing off of that I was gonna... but yeah, like, I'm a little bit disappointed in the Alliance. Like, this is a major communications hub. You know that you're gonna have guys, like, a guy showing up. Homie calls in all ships in the area, and not one full Alliance battlecruiser shows up? Like...
You're right, we didn't see any of those.
Not one. Not one. I was looking at the fleet, and I'm like, okay...
And those things are practically cities.
Which would have been way better for fighting the giant fleet. I mean, it obviously wasn't the full Reaver fleet, but it was a fuck ton of Reaver ships that came after them. Like, and I realized that was there. It was like, oh no, they won't see this coming. And I'm like, oh sweet God, they're just going to draw Reavers. I'm like, I realized that instantly, and I was like, this is a shit show. But yeah, no full Alliance cruisers showed up. And maybe the full Alliance cruisers showed up later, and that's why the Alliance actually won the battle and was able to deploy, like, all of the fucking, like, Special Forces Marines and all that shit.
Yeah.
But, which is also very possible. But I was like, God damn, like, if they'd had, like, 2 of those there, like, a hell of a lot less civilians on this planet would have gone down. And that was my big problem with that strategy at the end. Is like, ends justify the means, all the rest of that. But that is like, specifically, like, that's thousands of deaths that's on the crew for their actions. And yeah, it was the only way for them to get that word out, but that doesn't make it okay. And if the show continues, I would love to see the psychological effect that will have on the crew members, of them being like, yeah, sure, we did what was right. We got the word out, but there was a cost here. And then you have somebody who was like, I was on that planet. I lost my family to the Reavers that day. I'm coming after you because of it.
Yeah, of course there's people on that planet, but, I never saw them, so I never thought of them. I always thought that the planet was solely occupied by Mal's friend.
Just Mr. Universe, the whole planet.
And his wife.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. Yeah, I just thought the whole planet was his for some reason.
Well, no, because it zooms over the cities. There's a couple of cities that it zooms over in the opening panning shot after it comes through the ion cloud, and it's like a major. It's a major telecommunications.
No, of course
hub.
It is. I'm not arguing it. I never thought of the people. I never for a second.
Well, I mean, thinking about Mr. Universe's character, there's no way in hell that man would be able to subsist by himself.
Yeah.
He is not self-sufficient.
No, there's cities, but they're not people. They're just full of robots.
Can't
robots.
stop the signal, bro. Well, but
Guy
again...
stabbed me with the sword. Mal. Isn't that strange?
Yeah. Mal. Guy killed me, Mal.
Mal.
With a sword.
You can keep my wife.
Take my wife. Take my wife. Take me where there is no
knife. Oh, God.
I don't care. I've got drugs. You can't take the sky from mugs. I got nothing here. But that was something where, because of the moral ambiguity and the moral gray zone that they always played with on the show, where these are characters who are trying to be the most moral they can in a truly immoral and brutal galaxy, that's something... Again, I'd love to see this continue, because I know that Netflix did pick up the rights, like, option the rights to make a future show on Firefly. So, if that ever comes to pass, I'd really hope that they deal with that realistically. In that, yeah, that probably made them a ton of allies, but that made them at least as many enemies, if not more enemies, because there's all the people on that planet who are now going to be like, wow, fuck you. You brought Reavers to our house. Plus the fact that Parliament's like, yep. So let's get a few cruise missiles, and let's kill these guys.
Yeah, you thought you had to run and hide before, like
Jesus.
Like, yes, the damage has been done, but at the same time, like, we still know that you did it.
Yeah.
We can find your ass.
Yeah. Which is the great point made at the end. Is like, they aren't going to leave you alone. This is going to be gnarly. But they also have unnerfed, fully activated River.
Right.
Which is super fucking useful. And the rest of the crew, who are all high end. And I do love that she takes the position of Wash.
Right.
At the end of it. Which I thought was perfect, because I was like, okay, you're going to have to shift somebody to fucking pilot. Fuck, who are they going to put on pilot? Like, ain't nobody a good...
The one that's automatically capable at everything.
At everything, yeah. Which is, she's like one of those special characters. You get an FTL who are just instantly leveled up in everything, who have like 6 double-ranked skills. Like, yeah, no.
She is the virus, Patrick.
Yes, she is the virus. You didn't ask for her. You asked for a Zoltan shield, but instead you got her. And goddamn, weren't you happy when you got invaded by those rockmen? Reavers.
You know what I find is interesting is, okay, the movie ends where they're flying away, right? They've had to have extensive repair done on that ship.
Yeah.
Like, serious shit. Like, landing gear to, like, the fucking windshield,
Yeah. No. Well, you see them literally,
so
they
have
all right, we're putting on an entire new engine.
Yeah.
Like,
and, like, the symbolic fresh coat of paint stuff, too.
So
yeah.
They had to communicate with the people on that planet. Like, there was interaction.
True, but I think it was purely through the operative. Because that's the implication at the end, is they have that conversation where the operative is like...
I got your ship fixed, and I even brought you dry cleaning. We're cool, right?
Basically.
Can I be part... Can you imagine? Can I be part of your crew?
Hey, can I join the crew?
I heard you
Fuck
need
you.
a new shepherd now, and that's what we do
Dude,
we
he just...
stop believing in the Alliance.
He
We
comes
believe
with the
in
book.
God.
It turns out I'm actually Shepherd Book's son.
Oh, God.
Just do the whole thing, and Early's my uncle. It's all one happy family. All the black people in the show are related.
Jesus.
There's always a distant cousin. No.
Weren't we just saying that we were glad that they didn't do stupid shit like that earlier?
Oh, yes, no, absolutely, absolutely. I'm kidding, of course. But, yeah, no, they had that conversation of it being like, you know, I have to thank you for, you know, helping us out, getting our shit back together, patching up our wounded. Like, he says that explicitly to the guy. And the way I interpreted that is, this guy has direct command of anybody who's official Alliance people.
Yeah, they didn't even fucking shoot River without his command.
Yeah,
Which I thought was kind of crazy, because, like, definitely those Marines, like you said, came from another ship that was not involved when, the fucking horde of Reavers came. Because otherwise they'd be pissed off like, no, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
Or they'd be dead. Or more wounded.
I mean,
you know?
like, the Alliance has, like, a rigid structure. I don't see that as being, like, that weird. And, like, they obviously want River Tam back. Like, the whole thing has been trying to get her back.
Yeah, they're never trying to kill River. They have at no point been trying to kill River. They've been trying to get her back because she's a highly valuable resource, and they needed to know what information she had.
Right.
So, I mean, that again makes sense, is that they come in and they're like, oh, god damn it, it's the super combat target.
She's covered
Boss,
in blood.
Boss, do we kill her? She's got things. Boss. Which, again, because he was the one who sent out the order for all nearby ships to come in. Mm-hmm. So if he sent that out, it also would have made sense. This guy's a special operative of the Parliament. We need to check in with him about whatever's going on. And he probably shared with the other ships in the fleet, hey, we're looking for this Firefly, we're looking for these people.
Right.
This is the... But you make a good point. I definitely, going into that situation, might have been like, light him up! You know, like, I don't give a shit. This is crazy bitch with an axe in a room full of dead Reavers. I don't need none. I don't need none of this. I don't care if I'm going to jail. I'm not going out like this.
Yeah, something about like a giant horde of Reaver spaceships in space, you know, kind of puts you on edge.
Yeah, just a little.
You know?
Just a scotch. Like, or even just simply like, at that point she looks like a goddamn Reaver. Like, they're seeing her from behind. And that's also something that I loved. All of the Reavers that you see are non-specific gender.
Oh, yeah.
Because it makes sense that the Reaver culture is essentially just this mixed pile of pure aggression. And, I don't know, I love that. I loved what they did with the Reavers. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it.
All the female Reavers are actually up in the ship in the kitchen, because they gotta cook.
I hate you, Mike.
But they eat people alive. And you've seen that they actually 100% lose interest in eating people if they are dead.
Yeah, I know.
You see that in the opening settlement, where they shoot the dude in the head, and they instantly are like, ah, crap, and drop the body and, like, go do their other thing. But again, yeah, we're gonna try a swallow, what was it, a swallow grab?
I don't know.
Barn swallow. Oh yeah, we're gonna try and do a barn swallow, get the mule back on the ship. You mean, like, how you tried a Crazy Ivan? Like, it was literally the exact same plot device, just with a different maneuver, and I was like, alright. I get you, Joss.
What do you do?
I get you, Joss.
I'm gonna glide it in. Can you do that?
Apparently. Oh yeah, he's just, like, maybe, I'll try.
I'm gonna leaf on the wind. What does that mean?
I am a leaf on the wind? Like,
just let me do my job.
No.
I'm in the zone.
Yes.
Yeah, no, yes. And he only says it once. It's the one yes. It's like, shut up now. I know what I'm doing. And yes, we are flying directly there. And you will shut your goddamn mouth.
You can't go around it. I know. Go through it.
Oh, God. But,
terrible, too. And then, like, you get all that, like, ha, ha, And then they fucking kill
Well,
him.
which makes sense. I thought there was this one shot of like a piece of metal spiraling off one of the ships. That was like a long pole-like piece of metal, and I was like, "Are you shitting me?" Like, because I had the wash dyed thing spoiled for me because somebody posted that joke I told at the beginning.
Right,
was from a meme that had at the bottom of it a picture of Wash impaled, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's all right, great." And then when that happened during the combat, I was like, "No. Okay, they kill him with literally a randomly spinning pipe in space. I'm going to be really, really fucking mad." And no, they didn't. It made more sense. They got followed by the partnership to the one that they blew up. But,
which is a fucking EMP cannon. Like, how OP is that shit?
yeah.
Damn.
Well, again,
It
the
also makes
Reavers...
sense, like, you want to disable something.
Not kill them.
Yep.
And they're humans. They have all of the intelligence of the Alliance fleet. They just don't have industry. So they're taking the technology and coming up with crazy-ass fucking ways to use it. The same way that, like, if you look at all of their weapons are based off of, like, weird, crazy projectile shit. Which was super interesting to me. Like, Space Age are using projectiles, mostly not directed energy weapons. Which is fucking
Or that one
awesome.
ship that can, like, that pried apart that other ship.
That's what I'm talking about.
They
There's
just
two
took it-
ships.
Oh.
And that's the one of them is cruising in on them and scanning them when they open fire on it and they blow it up. And the ship that follows them all the way through the combat is the other one that was tearing apart ships with it. Again, just a fun little... There was some other cultural thing that I thought was really interesting that I was hoping they were going to expand on. And I'm forgetting now what it was.
You know, what's really disappointing is there wasn't a part where, you know, they go back to Mutter Central. And, like, Jane just does, like a, I'm here, and, like, the Mutters, like, revolt.
I mean, but that's never been Jane's goal.
I know.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't want that. He's like, I don't want a fucking statue of me. I don't want this.
Well, and that,
There is the brief moment in the episode is like where he realizes that he has the power and he can try and do some good, and then he's gonna try and do some good, and then he gets called
drunk.
out on his shit.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, I am an asshole. Oh, damn it."
And like honestly, that sounds like maybe a future episode, but I personally don't think that they need to go back there.
They should start off the series where Jane is in his cabin or whatever, and like you see that he's adopted Mr. Universe's wife, Bot.
That actually is totally something
That
Jane
would be a
would
very-
do.
It's
Jane
totally
would be
Jane.
like, and
Jane,
oh
what the
god,
fuck?
because there could be a whole thing because they were setting up this whole thing early on in the show of him being into Kaylee. Like there's like a couple of the like cutaway shots where he's like watching her sleep, or like when she's injured, he's like guarding her, and that's like the only fucking person he guards when he's injured. And so that was an interesting dynamic. So that'd especially be funny if then because he couldn't be with Kaylee, because Kaylee has always wanted that Simon D. He got with the mechanical wife, the robo wife, and then it became like a contentious relationship. So like he'd be mad and like stomping around the ship and like, "What's wrong, Jane?" "Oh, I'm arguing with the missus." They're like, "Jane, it's a robot." Hey, I don't discriminate against River just because she's crazy. And like stomps out of the room, you know.
Fucking shit.
Like, there's so many fun things that could come out of that, and again, that'd be a beautiful thing to bring in.
Or it's like, "Hey, Jane, have you seen my dress or my pants?" And he's just dressing her up
As Kaylee.
Or is
Like,
anyone?
slowly changing her appearance to be more like Kaylee. Oh, God.
Oh, they're so wrong.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of layers of wrong up in that. Can't do something smart. Do something right. Like dress up this robo-sex doll as my shitmate. That's definitely right. I mean, come on. You know, I haven't had anything between my legs in like a year. This is bullshit.
Didn't run on batteries.
Kaylee, I can't know these things. The panic in Mal's voice when he hears that. But then specifically the thing in the end where it's like, you know, the one thing I regret, you know, in this whole thing is not being with you. She's like, being? Like, you're talking about sex.
Right?
Well, no, but specifically her being like, you fucking clown. It's the moment where Kaylee is finally like, all right, I'm giving up. Well, she's like, yes, I'm going to live. But she's also like, okay, I'm giving up on Simon ever knowing how to be correctly romantic. Ever. You know, it wasn't the one thing I've regretted is what could have been between us. You know, that's way more like, yeah, instead of like, you know, I was never with you. So you're saying your one regret is that you didn't fuck me. Yeah, that's the romantic thing to say while we're sitting here. Thanks. Thanks, homie. I mean, yes, my one regret is that I didn't fuck you too, but you schmuck. Alright, I'm gonna live, and then I'm gonna have sex with you, and I'm just not gonna even worry about you being good with words ever, because you suck. You suck. You suck.
You're an incredible doctor, but anything outside of that...
You suck.
Oh, God.
Also, never used the sleep keyword on the original show.
Right.
Again, one of those things that it's like, you have information that you really couldn't have had on the show because, hey, when she came at Jane with a knife, that would have literally been the moment to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
And not potentially get thrown out. And...
Yeah, there's so many things that you could have done with that knowledge. Though I do just love the fact that they were broadband. They just never saw TVs. So, like, because they've been out on the rim where nobody has...
planets.
Yeah, nobody has a fucking TV. They finally run into a TV and she's instantly a killing machine because they were just broadcasting it. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. The political differences between the different branches of the Alliance. So you have the parliamentary people that the Operative is working for. And then you have the people who are pursuing River for the Institute, who are the guys with the blue hands. Right. Because
fuck those guys.
She had more knowledge of them. Mm-hmm. So that's an interesting thing, is that there were the multiple factions looking. And I was hoping that the film would deal more with that. But, again, if they were to restart the show, then that would be another really interesting political thing going on in the world of, okay, Parliament is sending people against these guys, and the Institute is sending people against these guys. Alright, shit, we're all screwed. Haha, we managed to escape because of the two factions fighting each other. There'd be some really interesting plot lines you could build off of that. And it would be...
2x2, hands in blue. 2x2.
Hands in blue. And also blue.
His balls.
Simon's balls. Yeah.
Kaylee's balls.
Yes.
She's definitely...
because she has the balls.
She does.
Or in the terminology of Transmetropolitan, she has the attack ovaries in the... it's the meat gun or the attack ovaries.
There was a scene in the beginning of the movie where, like, I was like, dude, you're on the ship alone with Kaylee. Make it happen.
Do it!
Do it!
Get it done! But no, of course not.
No, because you suck.
Yeah, you suck at everything that isn't doctoring. He's like Bashir from DS9, but, like, even more specialized. Like, Bashir is at least apparently good at piloting a World War II era fighter plane.
Because reasons.
That's so...
Yes.
Because logic demanded it, Patrick.
Yes, because logic demanded it. And you know what else logic demanded? That Simon do? Fuck Kaylee. The whole series. Every single day. Every single day. It demanded that he Kaylee. And I did like the line where it's like, I've been so worried about making sure that everything is cool with River.
Right.
That I've just ignored all of this. And I know I've been a jackass and I really should have done this and I'm sorry. Which is cool. And I did like the idea that Simon had more knowledge than he'd let on. And that he'd been hiding from them because he specifically was worried about them going, so we have a living weapon on board. That I would have been more cool with if there hadn't been the other specific pieces of data that it's like, the neural stripping does blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. And I'm like, so you wouldn't have had that line when you're like, oh, it looks like they stripped her nerves. You have known that, Simon.
Right.
For several months, Simon.
No, they had
Come
to
on,
because,
Simon.
you know,
well,
you have to explain to the people who have only seen the movie.
Yeah. No. And I get that. I get why they did that. It still is bothersome because of my through composition obsession. And also the fact that technically they'd said on the show that River was smuggled out in stasis. Because when she wakes up on the ship, she doesn't know that she's escaped.
Right.
And
It's
there's
like the
that
first
fat
time
moment. Yeah, the first thing is he's like, River, I got you out. Calm down. We're out. We're out. We got out. We're on a different thing. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're out. And she's like, Simon? Like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God. And that's the opening reaction there. And I was like, but she's conscious for the escape. And I get it. Like, it's that opening introduction of River has superpowers. Superpowers. Hanging from the ceiling powers.
I mean, she was also drugged during the escape. Like, he pulls her out, but they just administered drugs to her. She could have...
Well, they just done something. We don't know how that deal works that's penetrating the frontal lobe. And that very much could have been drugs. But she was super capable and, like, lucid during that sequence. But again, schizophrenia.
Yeah, he may have had to put her to sleep and stuff her in a box sometime in the escape, or from his journey from the facility to when we meet him first on Persephone.
Yeah, is where I think they pick her up. Where they pick them up.
Right.
The two different groups. Haha, pronouns.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
And then everyone finds out that, they had to pay to be on that ship, and all the shipper had to do was pay in strawberries.
Yep. Yep. Well, again, when they're eating textured, textured starch and molded protein, I mean, actually getting, like, food, that's righteous, dog.
He didn't just bring strawberries, too. I think there were, like, tomatoes and shit, because he talks about, like, a whole bunch of, like, vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, but she just sees the strawberries.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah.
Because she has the fucking thing about strawberries where she's like, oh, yeah. Yes.
Sexy like
Yes,
a chocolate
so
strawberry.
Well, I was intrigued by the robbery, specifically at the beginning. And that was another cool world expansion thing of... Yeah, the reason that things are so wild on the edge is that it isn't just that the Alliance doesn't have a big enough fleet, or that the Alliance is more concerned with maintaining order in the inner planets where all of the power structure is. It's also because they've hired all of these independent companies to, quote-unquote, run security on these border planets, and most of those companies are probably corrupt. And in bed with people like Niska, or Badger, or whoever the fuck else. And that made me sad, where they went around the scene with all of the shots. The same scene with I don't murder children. Yeah.
All my friends are dead.
Basically, the I don't murder children. I do. Like that scene where it does the pan between all of the different screens. And it shows, like, a bunch of places that you saw in Firefly and those characters dead. Like, the mail guy at the space station where they get their mail, like, he's on one of the screens. He is, like, face down dead on the console, on the screen. And the fact that the operative just sent Mal all of the video feeds to be like, come on.
Leave no ground to go to.
Yeah. when hunting quarry... and the quarry goes to ground, you leave no ground to go to. Yep. And that was wonderful, looking at that strategy. The way that he was playing all of that, because it was all trying to get Mal to make a move against him that he could exploit. And, as Shepherd Book put it, they'll come at you sideways, sidle up next to you with a smile, before they pull the knife. Beautifully put. From a man who did not age well.
No.
Like, it's only 3 years, too. Like, I looked, because I was watching it, and I saw Shepherd Book's face, and I was like, the fuck? And, like, looked on another thing and was like, oh my god, he's like, this is only 3 years apart. Like, dude aged, like, 10 years. I mean, I know he's been living hard on some farm planet, but it's been like 2 months in timeline. He's been on this farm planet. Like, does he have cancer? And actually, it's a good question. Like, the actor might have had cancer or something like that, which also would have explained why they killed Book.
I gotta kill you before it does.
Yeah, sorry, brother. Don't let me die that way. Put a bullet in my head.
We're preemptively writing you out.
Yeah. No, wait, Mal, don't kill me early. The one thing where Jane gets speared through the leg, and he's like, "Don't let me go that way. Don't let them get me. If they get me, shoot me in the head." All right. And Mal pulls the gun, and he's like, "Whoa, wait, but not yet. Like, wait."
That is the last resort, and you're jumping to Plan Z.
Yeah. Or what is the point where Mal literally does the, like, "If that's what you're gonna do, then you might as well shoot me now." Oh, it's River. And it was the, like, "If you're gonna try, if you're just a weapon, then you might as well just shoot me now." Cocks the gun.
Yeah.
Or we can keep talking. Like,
Perfect Mal.
yeah. Especially because it shows that understanding that if she was just a weapon, she would have shot him.
Right.
Right there. Right then. She wasn't.
No, there would have been
She
zero
just
hesitation.
has the potential to wreck him. Also, how many throat strikes there were in the movie made me really happy. I'm a huge fan of the throat strike. I think it's underutilized both in real world combat, like in fighting and in mixed martial arts. I think that the throat strike is underutilized, and I think it's
There's a
also
reason.
underutilized in. Oh yeah, because it kills people. And I also think it's underutilized in film choreography and television choreography. Which again, going back to the quality of the fight choreography in the film was really top notch. All of those throat strikes. So many throat strikes. Like, fucking River non-stop throat strikes people. Mal throat strikes like 8 people. That's literally the end. The way he takes out the fucking operative is like a triple throat strike. He throat strikes him, and then he arm locks him, and then does a knee drop into the guy's throat. He just repeatedly knee drops the guy's throat. And
then he wedges him in place with the goddamn sword.
Yeah.
so that he can unblinkingly watch the, like, horrible rape murder recording. Which, again, I thought was a great illumination of that character. Is that you could see the change inside of his eyes, of his opinion starting to change as he watched it. But where all of the other characters looked away, he looked directly into what it was. Because that's what he is.
Right.
He looks directly into what it is. Such a cool character.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good character. No, definitely. Thank you very much for encouraging me to do this.
Oh,
'cause I wanted
yeah.
to do this.
I needed you to...
We couldn't continue
Again,
being friends until you
as
watched.
I said, like, the operative is my favorite character in the universe.
Yeah.
Fucking acting on him top notch, the writing for him top, like,
Yeah.
everything. Just, like, that's why I needed you to see the fucking film. Because I know that there'd been things spoiled for you, and, like, I really wanted to talk about the character, because I fucking love the character.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about fucking Inside Man, and I was like, oh my... The actor's
That
the
actor
operative.
is... Yeah. And I love everything I've seen that actor do. I've seen him in a bunch of, like, little bit parts all over the place, and he's always top notch. But the operative, is my favorite. The just clean smile.
Yep.
The untroubled eyes. That aren't troubled until the very end, when he's talking to Mal.
Right.
And they have become more alike than they are different.
Yeah.
They've gone from the polar opposites to being almost the same.
Well, yeah. Just that little bit of, like, and I think that they know that I'm no longer their man.
Yeah. Which, it's like, I better, if I see you again, I'm like to kill you. Yep, you won't.
Yep.
But, see, again, that would be fun. Again, I just really want Netflix, get off your ass. Make the show. Come on.
Yeah, I
Get
mean,
your ass on board.
There's at least 3 viewers on my couch.
Yeah, come on.
They canceled Castle. Fucking Nathan Fillion's free now.
Motherfucking Nathan Fillion. Well, he's apparently going to start doing the Marvel movies.
What?
But, yeah, there's like a couple of roles that they're eyeing him for. I was reading some article about that the other day.
Everyone wants in on that Marvel train.
Yeah. It's an infinite
It's
well
steady work.
of absurd money.
Yeah.
You I mean, I want in on it. Dude, residuals? Residuals. If you're, like, random guy number 4 in one of these movies and are like, yeah, go Captain America! That means that every single time it's shown, every ticket, you're getting, like, $2.
Hell yeah.
How many motherfucking showings are there gonna be? That's $2 every time for forever. I'd want that. I don't want that cash. Shit. Regardless, I think this is the signing off hour.
Yes.
So to all of you out there in the TBD world, remember, they can't take the sky from you as long as you're willing to bring a giant goddamn army of rapist monsters that were created by the government secretly and in an accident with you to ensure that they can't take the sky from you. And also if you're willing to sacrifice Alan Tudyk.
Oh, God.
Don't ever sacrifice Alan Tudyk.
Have a beautiful day.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. It's been fun.
Yeah.
No, thanks for being here, buddy.
Oh, hell no! I ain't getting out of bed today.